Hi there, Dave with Crandall Office, and we know one of the most important decisions you have to make when building out your chair is which upholstery selection to choose. We've done some short videos on each of our different upholstery selections and options available, but now we're doing some comparisons so you can directly compare a couple of our more popular choices. Today we're taking a look at Bioknit and 3D Bioknit. So without further ado, let's point! All right, so let's jump right in and take a look at where these materials are similar. And that's really going to start with how they are made and what they're made of. So these are both knitted materials and they're knitted from the same yarns, which is obviously our Bioknit yarn. It's going to be biodegradable, bleach cleanable, 100% polyester, great stuff there. All made in the USA and knitted in the USA. So those are going to be the same from a material and construction standpoint in how they're made. Obviously, their actual knitting of how they are knitted is going to be quite different, which we'll go over a little bit later. The other thing that they're going to be pretty similar in is going to be stretchability. And so as you can see, because they are knitted materials, they're going to have a good amount of stretch to them. You can see I can just stretch this quite a bit, and as a result you're really going to feel that on the chair. That increased stretchability is going to improve how the chair sits and how you move with the chair, especially on a brand new foam seat pad. And so you can see that I've got the same thing here on the Bioknit. So you're going to have a ton of stretch, more in one way than the other, but you can just see how much this moves and stretches and moves with you. So both are going to be made of the same material, both are going to be knitted, and both have a similar amount of stretch. But that's kind of where the similarities end. Let's take a look at where they're different from each other. All right, so the first area that these two fabrics differ from each other is going to be in their durability rating. Again, Bioknit kind of sets the gold standard at 250,000 double rubs. The 3D Bioknit comes in at 150,000 double rubs. So there's a pretty decent difference there. Again, to be considered commercial grade is 15,000, heavy duty commercial grade 30,000. Both are well in excess of those numbers, but Bioknit is going to have a much higher rating at 250 versus 150,000 double rubs for 3D. All right, so the next area that these are going to be a little bit different from each other is going to be in breathability. Bioknit is a knitted material. We have touted this, the breathability of this material for a long time. As you can see, you can kind of see through it a little bit. It's got a ton of breathability baked into it. It's also got a little bit of thickness that helps with that as well. That said, the 3D material is going to be much thicker, and it's the way it's constructed, it really is kind of two different layers and kind of creates a spacer layer that really takes this to the next level as far as breathability goes. This is going to be our most breathable material that we work with by a pretty wide margin. It's not going to be as breathable as a mesh material per se, but it's really going to bridge that gap a little bit between a standard upholstery material and a mesh material with that spacer layer and that breathability built into this. This is going to take the cake as far as breathability goes. The next area that these differ from one another is going to be in the softness category. Bioknit is really well known for its soft and consistent feel. It just has a really nice hand feel to it, and it's going to be very consistent as you drag your hand over it. The 3D material is going to, due to the way that it's constructed, and it's two layer and it kind of comes and goes a lot, it's going to have much more of a rough feel to it. It's still made of the same yarn, so it does have a soft touch to it, but it is, once you start dragging, you can really feel the coming and going of this material and how it's knitted. So it's going to be a little bit rougher to hand feel versus the Bioknit, which is going to be a much more smooth, traditional soft. So really what the direct comparison is, you're sacrificing some of the softness of this material in favor of the looks and breathability that you're going to get for 3D. So the place that you're really going to notice the difference the most between Bioknit and 3D Bioknit is going to be in the looks category. Obviously the Bioknit material is going to be a very consistent, uniform look, solid color, only made with one yarn, whereas the 3D material is knitted of two different yarn colors and has a ton of three-dimensionality to it. Because we can create this with two different colors, you can see there's kind of a backer material and then a front. We can use two different colors to do that, but it's also that construction gives it a really three-dimensional look. It's really cool on the chair. It kind of has an optical illusion. You kind of come up to it, just kind of like, is that real? It has that three-dimensional nature to it. It's Very, very unique look, especially once you get into some of the colors behind, some of the darker colors in the front. Really just, we'll try to capture it the best we can on camera, but it really does have a optical illusion effect to it that is very unique and cool. So that's going to be one of the areas that you're really going to notice the most difference between the two. One other difference I do want to note between Bioknit and 3D Bioknit is that we only use the 3D Bioknit material on the back of the chair. The seat is going to be a Bioknit material. And like I said, these do use the same yarn, so you are going to get good color matching between the two. But we only utilize the 3D material on the back of the chair, whereas this is going to be, the Bioknit material is going to be a much more consistent look throughout the chair. This is going to have a little bit different look on the back and the seat. So the last area we want to look at where these two differ from each other is going to be in pricing and colors. Bioknit is obviously going to be our kind of new standard fabric that is going to be included in the price of almost all of our chairs. The 3D Bioknit material is going to be a $35 upcharge per chair. Again, that's going to only be on the back and not on the seat, but that's going to be an area that they differ. The other area they're going to differ is in color selection. So we've got 12 different colors available in Bioknit, and we have 6 different options available on the 3D Bioknit material. All right, so let's do a final wrap up comparing Bioknit and 3D Bioknit, starting with durability. We're going to give the check mark to Bioknit, $250,000 rubs versus $150,000. Again, both are great ratings, but the edge goes to Bioknit there. From a breathability standpoint, we're going to give the edge to 3D Bioknit. It is a much more breathable fabric. The three-dimensional nature, the spacer layer that it creates is going to give it the edge, even though Bioknit's still a great breathable material. Checkmark goes to 3D Bioknit. From a softness perspective, we're going to give the checkmark to Bioknit. It's just got a softer hand feel. This still is made of the same yarn. It has a good soft hand feel, but because of how it's constructed, as you drag your hand over it, it's going to feel rougher to the texture. So we're going to give the edge to Bioknit in that category. Stretch, they're both going to get check marks, have a very similar stretch, and are at the top of the list from a stretch standpoint, similar to all of our Bioknit materials. From a price standpoint, we're going to give the check mark to Bioknit as it is included in the price, whereas the 3D Bioknit material is an upcharge. And again, we've got the final check mark will go to Bioknit for 12 colors available versus 6. That said, I will give an auxiliary check mark to the looks and to 3D Bioknit because it does offer such a very unique look with the two colors, the 3D construction. Really just changes how that chair looks. It adds a ton of dimension to it. Very, very unique material. We absolutely love it. We've had it around for a long time. So if you're looking for something unique, 3D is a great option. If you're looking for something more traditional, smooth, much more uniform, a Bioknit material is going to be your winner. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video on comparing our Bioknit and 3D Bioknit materials. If you found this video helpful, please click the like and subscribe buttons below. It really helps us out. And as always, if you have any questions about these materials or anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at our website, crandalloffice.com, our Facebook page, or anywhere else you can reach us. We're always here to help. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bioknit and 3D Bioknit, starting with a durability. Okay. And we have 6 different options available on the 3D Bioknit material. Is 6 accurate? And so as we obviously, okay. Hi there, Dave with Crandall Office, and we know one of the most important things that you can choose when you're laughing, and I don't like it. So one thing is that a bird? Is it a plane? Is it Superman? Awesome, look. Why did I say that? I'm gonna go do a wardrobe change.